Good morning, good morning. Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Frosty. I hope you're doing well.
Morning, good
Happy
morning.
Sunday morning.
Hey
Oops,
everybody, how you
I've
doing?
got something
It's
open somewhere. Hold on
Frosty.
just
I
a
hope
second.
you're doing well. Happy,
Do, 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 do,
happy
do, do, do,
Sunday
do.
morning. Hey everybody, how you
I've
doing?
got I can
Something
hear
open.
myself in the
Frosty. I hope
background,
you're
and
doing
that's
well.
usually
Happy,
indicative of
happy.
me having this open somewhere. All right. I'm not seeing myself on. There we go. I see us both are live. Excuse me. Sorry. I hope we're all doing well. Thank you very much for being in here. Let's do my pleasantries real quick, and then we'll talk a little bit about some of the randomness that we're going to be talking about today. Because you guys know that it is Sunday morning, so we have to do the random discussion, right? So let's say hi to everybody. So Rockzilla, good morning. How are you doing? Eric is obviously in the house. Thank you, Eric,
Good
for being
morning.
here this morning. We have Jackalope Herdmaster, Rockzilla, we have Siren, we have Deslogic, Jack Gallman, Coins Making Sense. Good morning, Kevin. How are you? Jack Rockzilla, Kevin, thank you so much for being channel members. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Jackalope Herdmaster. Kinomine is in the house. Good morning, me. How are you doing, my friend? Hey, me, those things should be delivered coming week. So for those of you who don't know, I just ordered some stickers. And you guys know I've been trying to do this. But I have some limited edition ones, and I'm also going to be doing some stuff with the American Numismatic Association. So we'll be talking a little bit about what's happening there. I will be giving away memberships periodically throughout this next month, leading into Veterans Day, in which I'm going to host a special thing, and I'm going to be giving away 10 ANA memberships on Veterans Day. So stay tuned. We'll be talking about a bunch of that. The memberships are going to be going specifically to vets. Um, so we'll be talking a lot about what's going on and coming up into November. So just stay tuned. We'll work on that. Today, we're going to be talking about a number of different things. I also got another guest with me today. Say hello to the one and only Bifrost. She's going to be doing some drawing while we do our general chit chat today. So we'll be doing that. Mickey Fur's in the house. Good morning, Mickey. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Mia's on his way to Fort Worth. So drive safe, brother. Hope you're doing well. AZ Coins. Ernest is in the house. Good day. Hope you were doing well. Thank you all for being here. All right. So the first thing that I want to talk about is something that I heard about last night on the Coin Show podcast. So if you guys don't know who the Coin Show podcast is, they are Matt and Mike, and every Saturday evening they have this Coin Show podcast, and they talk about different news. They talk about errors and varieties, and they talk about what's going on in the numismatic community. And they were talking about something that I hadn't heard about, and I wanted to dig in a little bit deeper and learn about what was happening with a Stacks and Bowers combination with uh, the Royal Mint. So I'm going to present this screen really fast. And while I do this, um, you'll see that this is something that is kind of unique. Now, when we look at this, what we're seeing is First Strike. Now, we've heard First Strike before here in the US with BCGS and NGC, but this is a little bit different. This is actually First Strike. What that means is they're taking the first strikes like 1 through 50, 1 through 100, and they are actually minting these coins, taking them, sending them to NGC, and then in partnership, under contract, in partnership with Stacks and Bowers, they are releasing these. So I wanted to know more. So I wanted to kind of dig in, and looking at Stacks and Bowers at the 30th of this month, they actually open up. And you can actually go to, I'm going to put this in chat. Hopefully, this entire link goes through. I know for the folks in the landscape side will be able to click on the link, but the folks on the portrait mode will not. That's there. I'll be posting all of these into the details later on. So you'll be able to go back and look and see the specifics, and you'll be able to go back and look at the auction settings for this. But there are two auctions. There is lot one, which are lots 10,001 through 10,000 or 11,050. So basically, there are 1,050 lots in this particular structure. Now, if you look at the number of coins that are listed on the screen, there are 9 different coins that are there. So if you break this out, that equates to about 100 to 110 coins. Now, I don't know if the gold ones have different runs than some of the silver ones. For instance, I don't know if all of the gold coins are the first 25. I don't know if all of the silver coins are the first 100. I don't have any of the details. I haven't been able to find. So if we look at one of these specifically and we click on the item, trying to open this up,
Yeah, I
what
guess
it
you can
does,
pre-bid.
say again.
You can pre-bid.
Oh, it's starting on the
That's live
30th is
bid.
when it officially opens.
Yeah,
But
that's the live bidding, but you can put a proxy bid in right now.
yep, you can. So I'm about to pull that up. So what you can do is if you come here, and I'm going to make this big so you can see it a little bit better. You can actually put in your bids. Now, if you look here, this one is the 10th coin struck. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see this a little bit better. It's actually the 10th coin struck. Now, the cool thing about this particular item, when you're talking about uh, uh, this particular coin, is that if if any of you ever collect artwork, if any of you ever go through and you collect those kind of things, Ronald Stewart's in the house. Good morning, Ronald. How you doing? Hope you're well. If you collect artwork, you see that you have a limited edition 1 in 1500, 9 in 1500. The thing that I like about this, I'm really actually quite intrigued by this. I'm sure the coins are going to go way more than uh, their normal counterparts would because of the limited nature of these. And I'm sure you're going to have certain people that want a certain number. Like my favorite number in collection is 333, 333. I love that number 3. So if I could find the third coin struck, I would be willing to bid a little bit more than some of the other ones. Um, but when looking at this particular one, it's actually telling you this is the 10th coin struck ever, which means that they're actually going to mint, pull, set it aside, mint, pull, set it aside. Which I can understand the London Mint doing this, but Eric and I were briefly talking. I don't know that I would. I don't know that I could see the U.S. Mint doing this. Um, and again, you're talking about an MS-68 as the 10th coin being struck. So I'm expecting that you would see something like, you know,
Well, I just looked.
proof-like
There's an actual
surfaces.
coin that is not gradable due to a scratch in that lot.
Say that again.
There's an actual coin that just comes up genuine. It's the 98th coin on something, and it's not gradable due to a heavy scratch. So,
Well, but see, and that to me is a telling, like it's actually an issue, right?
yep.
Um, I, could you trust? I don't have any problem believing that you couldn't trust them to do this.
Oh
MS
no, I think
70
it's a
Gold
a
Lion and
great
the
thing.
Eagle. Say again.
The U.S. Mint could learn a lot from the Royal Mint and the Canadian Mint as far as that goes. As far as distribution and selling products and making products, they could learn a lot.
Yeah. So there's, and again, when you're looking at like this is a quarter ounce gold bullion. If you look at the coin, um, Obviously the current bid is 40. That thing's going to end up being around $1,000 by the time it's done. Um, because you're looking at a specific lot of coins. Let's get down here to the next grouping of numbers. And here we are with the eighth coin struck. So this is my thought. There are 9 coins in this, meaning that if you want to collect the entire set, there are going to be 9 coins in the set. So if you're talking about a run, and I'm going to get back up here to the beginning of this particular lot. So when you get up here to the top of this and you're looking at this particular first strike subset, you're going to be looking here at the number of lots that are there. So if you take 1,050 and you divide that by 9, I think that's going to tell you what the number is. I would assume that some of these are going to be limited. If they're going to be do full sets, then it's going to have to be like the first 10 coins or the first 25 coins. I would have to go through and look at all of those to see how many of those there are. I haven't done that yet. It's something I'm going to dig into.
There are some like the 1 ounce silver coins. Let me see how far. It looks like they're going well into the 200s.
Well, and again, that's where I'm talking about the gold coins for the set. Are they only going to be one of tens? Are they going to be one of 25s? So you would have to look at, you'd have to manually go through and do this because I haven't seen any place that actually breaks down
Yeah, they don't
the
separate it by
counts,
gold or silver.
right?
So
ATS, good
basically, it
morning.
looks
What's
like
going on, brother?
anything after the fourth page looks like it's 1 ounce silver coins.
Morning, Wendy. Well, but that's what I'm saying. So when you're looking at the full sets, um, one thing that I'm trying to one thing that I'm trying to identify is that there are going to be some of these that are going to be, if you want the full set, you're going to have to get one of the first 10 or one of the
Yeah,
first
it looks
25,
like
right?
the coronation of King Charles is going up to 250.
But silver
Yeah,
coins.
silver.
Yeah. So again, we were
Um,
talking about different denominations. You're talking about different items. I am assuming that the gold is going to be a very, very limited run, right? Because remember that when you talk about the number of coins that were minted from the series of Britannia and Liberty, um, then you're going to be looking at a total number of uh, 4,000 mintage, 2,500 in the proof. The numbers are very small. So when you look, it's really going to be. I'm sure it's going to be dependent upon the run. But when you look at the gold coinage from the Royal Mint, if you look at those limited numbers, they're going to be small. I wouldn't expect you see any gold coins over maybe 25. Whereas the silver mintages, when you're looking at the mintages for the silver coins, the Lady Britannia, the proof coins, it's a mintage of like 200,000 or 20,000 if you're looking for the sets of them. And
I
so,
actually don't see a gold coin over 10.
well, but that's what I'm saying. So the limit, if you want the full set, you're going to be forking out some massive money because I wouldn't expect that you're going to find anything. And maybe it might only be 10, right, for the gold coins. So you might be able to get the full silver set, but if you want the entire set, you're going to have to be like one of 10. So I expect some of these prices to just go through the roof. Hey,
Yeah,
Dirty
there is.
Water, good morning. What's up, Compton? How you doing, guys? Thanks for coming into the stream. Larry
There's a
Downing, ATS, thank y'all for coming in. Good to see you all.
there's a total of 50 gold coins in the whole auction. Let's see.
Yeah, so when you break that down, but again, there's nothing listed, so you're going to have to actually go through and manually
I
calculate
just
this
did a
because I
search
haven't
within their
seen the
website,
numbers.
and it brought up
Say what?
look I did a search within their website. It looks like, um, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different gold coins with 10 each.
Yeah, and that's what I showed you on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I showed you on this. Yeah, was the 5 different gold coins. So, but I think if you want this entire set, if you're gonna want this, you're gonna have to be
Oh, you're
what?
gonna have some coin. They're
Yeah,
gonna
you're
go
gonna have to
high.
be because some of these are gonna go extremely, extremely high. So, I think there are going to be people who are going to be able to get sets of the silver coins. But again, I think if you want the gold coins, there's going to be some massive bank required for you to secure any of these gold coins. So, but anyway, I thought this was really cool because again, as a collector, somebody who enjoys art, limited editions, I have lithographs, and I know you guys can't see, but sitting right in front of me is a signed artist proof of Arnold Freeberg's Prayer Valley Forge. I used to work for the artist, and so I have this affection for limited edition artwork. And um, there's only one person who's going to have number 3. There's only one person who's going to have number 8. And so I see number 1. I don't foresee too many counterfeits of these coins floating around. Um, I believe there's going to be some of them with a population of 10.
The
I'm
Royal
sure that
Mint
the
does pretty good
say
at
again,
the Royal Mint is pretty good at anti-counterfeiting, putting stuff on their coins that make it very difficult to counterfeit.
but it doesn't mean that they're not out there. Look at the
Right.
Britannias.
No, 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 absolutely. But
Right.
to see a good counterfeit will be it's really not. But same with the Canadian Mint. Most of their coins, they've got finishes and stuff within the coins that are it's just impossible to duplicate
Right.
without their technology.
Hey, Coach's Magic. Good morning. We're doing very well, thank you. Yeah, and so it's just one of those things that as I was listening to the Coin Show podcast, and again, if you don't watch them, again, go check out Matt and Mike. They're awesome people. Um, but this was one of those that I was like, ooh, I want to find out more about this. What is the likelihood that somebody would be able to get one of these? Because I think it's bring back the rated edge. Um, what uh, what was the likelihood that you'd be able to get some of these? Because I think that's important for people to, in order to set realistic expectations, right? This is not going to be like a first strike, where the first strike, from what we see as first strike, where um, it could be, if you look at the number of coins that the U.S. Mint could mint if Denver and Philadelphia were running 65,000 coins per hour if all presses are running. And you talk about the coins being first strike if they're minted within a time frame. That means that you could have the potential of upwards of 240,000 coins that are first strike eligible. So you need to put this into perspective when you're looking at what is what does this mean versus what do the first strikes mean on our end. So I think it's really important that people look at this. I think that people are going to use. I'm going to issue a warning, preemptive FROSTYS kind of thought process. I think people who aren't familiar with this program and what their first strike means are going to utilize our first strike to try to get more money out of some of the other coins. So I would urge caution across all fronts, stackers, collectors, as people start to see these things, to very, very carefully watch the first strikes that are coming out of the U.S. and watch the prices. Don't get lured into the fact that you think this is part of a set that's going to go up, because I think there's going to be nefarious people even in the community. There's going to be people, maybe not out of malice, but who are not going to have a clear understanding of what this means, that are going to try and charge more for these. So again, we're talking about the Royal Mint specifically, and we're talking about non-US first strikes. Okay, so just watch the US first strikes,
Yeah, the
and
U.S.
watch
First
people trying
Strike
to play that up a
program, to
little bit.
touch
I
on
think you
that,
got to be
Frostbite,
careful there. Say again?
says the U.S. First Strike program that PCGS and NGC does, the way they label those are coins that are dated and shipped from the mint within the first month of production. So basically, you're sending them into NGC or PCGS in January. That doesn't mean they're first strike coins, because they start a die and they use a die till it's done. So it can be, you know,
But that's
uh,
exactly what
a
I'm
million
saying,
coins
Eric.
into the striking process on the first day.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. So
Uh,
when you talk about first strike, so you can have a first strike eligible coin. So for instance, oh, I don't have one with me. I thought I had one up here. I had pulled a couple coins, but I don't have one. You can have one that comes in one of those little plastic containers that was that they're first strike eligible. And if it's in that plastic container, it doesn't matter if it's 9 months down the road. If that little plastic container from like AppMex or whatever that is encased in one of their items, they're still first strike eligible. So if you send that in, hold on, I got to clear my throat. If you send that in, 5 months later, um, it's still eligible for first strike as long as that packaging that's there hasn't been tampered with.
right.
So as
As long
long
as
as
it's
they have
dated
been
within the first month.
packaged in that time frame and it's not tampered with, you can send one in for later. What I want people to understand here is the difference between what they're talking about, actual first strike coins. And I want people to, in listening to these guys talk about this on the CoinTroll podcast, my mind immediately goes to, how are people going to manipulate this to try to make money? And how do we need to protect ourselves? So my mind immediately goes to, what are the crooks going to do? What are people in various areas, whether they be local, whether they be in or out of our community? How are people going to manipulate this to try to get more money out of what we have as the first strike program? I want people just to be careful, because if you start seeing first strikes that are all of a sudden going for $3, $4, $5, $6,000, uh, be careful. I 100% believe, no doubt in my mind, that as soon as this first Stacks and Bowers thing is done, we're going to start seeing some counterfeit slabs come out. So I want people to be careful regarding this. I 100% believe that the counterfeiters, the people who take these labels, will be creative. Um, Dirty water, I understand. So again, first strike, um, whatever, right? You take it out of the holder, and it's just another coin. There was another one that was the same way, which was the 2021 or the 2020 emergency strike ASE. Take that thing out of the holder, nobody's going to know it's a special strike. There's nothing special about the coin. This is a collector's thing. And so if you are a collector and you enjoy it, just like with art, a lot of people, I have a couple pieces of artwork, and I should show some of my art one time, which we'll talk about. That's something else that what I wanted to talk about too, Eric.
Artwork?
Just remember we talking about the idea of having people send in things that they like and then choosing a
Yeah, yeah.
topic. And yeah, so we're going to talk about that too. But there are pieces of artwork that I have a real fascination with, and I'll never, ever, ever be able to buy the number that I want because of its low number. Um, one piece that I have was given to me by the artist himself. And again, for those of you who don't know, I used to work for Arnold Freeberg. If you don't know who Arnold Freeberg is, look it up. It's Friebberg. He's the one who painted Prayer Valley Forge for all my Canadian brothers and sisters. You've probably seen a ton of his work with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. For all of my friends who are across the pond, the painting of the Queen and the painting of Prince Charles on his horse that are there in Buckingham Palace are printed or were painted by Arnold Freeberg. He's one of the few American artists who's part of the Royal Society of Artists. They're out of London, and just a very, very talented, very, very cool gentleman. Died in 2001 or something like that. Died a number of years ago. But there are pieces that are 1 through 25, and they were his pieces. They were specifically held by him, and he gave them out to very specific people. And those pieces command a crazy, crazy, crazy premium. So there are people that have, and Eric, you and I were talking about sets and PCGS registered sets and
Right.
NGC registered sets. There are going to be the people that have more money than God that want number one. Right. So I expect some of these are going to go through the roof.
Oh, can you
Um,
imagine the number one if somebody gets a solid 5 coin set of number ones?
oh, yeah. But see, I fully believe you get somebody who's worth $100 billion and
Yeah,
they
they have no
really want
problem.
all of these, they'll get them.
Yep,
It's a rich man's game,
exactly.
right? So, or a rich person's game, excuse me. Sorry to be PC. Um, but I really found this fascinating because number one, it is a high collector's game, it is a high stakes game. But the first thing that my mind went to when I saw this on the Coin Show podcast was there are going to be people who utilize this to gain more money in the other program, and we've got to be careful because we're going to see some counterfeit slabs and some false claims on slabs. So I really want people to pay attention to this. So that was one of the first things that I wanted to talk about today. But I think it's really cool. So Dirty Water, who's in portrait mode. If you want to come over to landscape mode, you can do that too. But be whichever one you want to be in. Oh, you know what? I didn't do that yet. Hold on, just a second. I didn't put in the the links to these. So hold on just a sec. So if you want to be in portrait mode, you guys can go to portrait mode there. And if there's anybody that wants to go to portrait mode from the other side, then you guys can go into portrait mode. So you guys can change the modes just by going to that pinned message. So I forgot to do that earlier. All right, that's been done. That's resolved. And folks, my allergies are kicking my butt, so I apologize for all the hacky clearing my throat stuff. I woke up this morning and Eric was on. He was like, "Oh, dude, you just wake up?" Like, no, it's allergies. Bifrost is finished. This is her Great Gatsby thing where the Gatsby's toasting the camera. That is Bifrost Dirty Water. That is my daughter. Um, so Bifrost says, I get it. I'm a fan of errors of varieties, which is a very small percentage of coin collectors. Others don't see the point of paying for a coin that's not perfect. Yeah, and again, we to each their own, right? We are going to do what we want to do when we are looking at collecting. A lot of people don't think that collecting varieties and errors is worth it. But there are also people who spend a number of hours and dollars looking at silver, and in some cases they're not even coins; they're just rounds, and spending high dollar value for a silver round when you look at a stacker and the stacker's like, oh man, I could have bought 10 pieces of, you know, basic silver for that. So when you're talking about collectors, to each their own. What I wanted to do is I just wanted to bring that up to everybody. And again, props to the Coin Show podcast for airing that yesterday. But looking at it and going, I see the potential for some nefarious actions going on here. So I wanted to show you guys what was going on, but forewarn you that here before too long, I almost guarantee we'll start seeing some people utilizing this to get more money from slabs and stuff that are there. All right, Dirty Water, have a great morning. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you being here, brother. I really do appreciate. And if you guys um, have the chance, get over and check out Dirty Water. Um, they he has some amazing stuff.
He finds
So
some good stuff. It's because he
yeah,
spends a lot of time looking for it, though.
tons and tons of stuff. So I'm gonna throw Dirty Water's link in there. If you're not a subscriber, go subscribe to the channel. Go check it out. He's got almost 3,500 subscribers, 760 videos. So go check out some of the crazy stuff that they find. He's found some really cool stuff. So, but you find it when you look. So go check out the channel.
And that is it. That is the key. Everybody goes, how can this person find so much? It's because he's looking so much.
Hey Chad, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. I just got another subscriber. Thank you so much. All right. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is Eric. Let's kind of talk about the discussion we had about some potentials for future live streams.
Okay. Are you talking about the road collectibles roadshow stuff, or?
Yeah, kind of. So Eric and I were talking, and we know that there's a lot of people who Dirty Water just subscribed. Hooped, hooped. Thank you, Dirty Water. Appreciate you, bud. Um, there are a lot of people who collect a lot of different things. And in this hobby, if you guys watched, we had the final premiere train yesterday with Mad Stacker. We had Mad Stacker on. We talked about the 4-year process that they were going through to do stuff and some of the things that they've had, some of the people that were there. And like 13 channels were there. And there were unboxings, there were reviews of collections that were found by like Miss Coin Crew, where she had her guardhouse box, or Ringmaster Ray of all the metal detecting digs that they had had. And because we have so many variety people that come into these streams that collect, I was utterly amazed when I saw Pirate Stacker's collection of like things like bobbleheads and comics and just crazy
Yes.
cool stuff, right? And not really understanding what everybody here finds fascinating. Yesterday, I did a review of Christian Gobrecht, and I did a chat or a premiere train video for Christian Gobrecht. And one of the one of my subscribers, Linda, said earlier, "Hey, do one on the flying cent. I love the flying cent. I love the Gobrecht dollar, the no stars, the variations in there." And that happened to be one of the coins that was there. But there are people who love and collect very certain items. And what I would like people to do is, if I can have one of my moderators, anybody can do this actually, exclamation point email. What I want to do is I want to get one of my Gray Ninjas just subscribed. Thank you, Gray Ninjas. Appreciate you. One thing that I want to do, Gray Ninjas. Bifrost is like, yeah. Okay. One thing I want to do is I want to start showcasing Robert Bruce. Hey, Robert, I didn't see an email from you. Make sure you email me for the gifted ANA membership. Okay. Make exclamation point email. That'll bring up my email. Send me an email. and then we'll work on getting you that ANA membership. So congratulations, brother. Also, if Show Me Stackers in chat, I need an email from Show Me. So if you guys know Show Me, make sure you get him or get them my email because they also have a gifted ANA membership. I'm working with ANA to try to get more people engaged and get resources and stuff. So I'm going to be doing that. In particular, the whole premise of this is to gain veterans access to things that they want to do and be able to look at stuff. So we'll be talking more about that here in just a minute. Red Silver's in the house. Good day, Red Silver. I just saw your name pop up. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to find a way to get him a gifted membership, by the way. So I'm going to give away 5 of these. All right. I'm going to gift away 5 memberships. Papa York, Coach's Magic, Larry Downing, Quahog, and Anna. Nah, I can't get you one, Red. I've tried. The system hates you. I think he has them turned off. I don't think they're even on, really. I just don't think he has gifting on. But too much fun. I appreciate it. Yeah, no worries, folks. I appreciate all your support. Again, the gifted memberships were a huge donation by Robert Pintoff. And so Robert Pintoff actually, I used some of the stuff that he did to get some ANA memberships. So the ANA memberships, the first 5 ANA memberships are coming out of the generous donation that I got from Robert Pintoff. So Robert Pintoff is great. Hey, speaking of Linda, how you doing, ma'am? Good to see you. Um, yeah, I just was talking about that flying eagle. But so what I want to do is I want to learn more about what you all collect. I want to showcase a particular set of items. So what I want people to do, and I'm gonna work on the details for this, but what I would like people to do is exclamation point email, and please keep it clean. If the stuff that you collect is magazines from Playboy over the years, I'm not displaying that on the channel. Okay. But keep it clean, keep it on the up and up. But what I do want to do is I do want to see what everybody else is interested in. And the reason that I want to do this is because it is Frostbite coins and collectibles. Now, I primarily go over coins and numismatics, but I also want to see what people are also invested in the channel. I also want to see what people are passionate about. I want to see what other things. Now, brothel tokens are a little bit different. Now they got to be clean. They're semi numismatic. Um, in many cases, they're still numismatic because they were, old capped bust or things of that sense. Um, so that is still numismatic, right? So again, that is a history of that. Hobo nickels.
So
I did
wouldn't
an entire section
a
regarding
brothel
those.
token be an uncapped bust?
That would be a gang coin, a
Right?
capped bust. Yeah. Um, but again, there are a lot of things that um, people collect, and I really want to see. Hey, that's so Magic the Gathering. Again, these are different things that I want to showcase. And what I want to do is I want to pull up some of this stuff. Now, Papa York says he collects memories. Papa York is also a very talented woodworker, and he's done some really cool things. I've got this little piece. Um, I've got a bunch of stuff on my desk right now. Where did it go? Can you look over there and see if you can find my wooden little. It's the truck inside the little wooden container. It's right here, Melanie. All right, here's the. So there's all this. So what he does is he like carves a truck inside of a block of wood,
There's a lot of people that do stuff like that. That's
right?
great too. I knew somebody who used to do that and put like ball and chain in a U where you could, it was weird. It was like a magic trick type thing.
Yeah, and so there's all sorts of stuff that people do. Um, Now, Papa York, you gave this to me, um, I believe, to give away, right? And I've never given it away. Should I do the giveaway of this? No, I'm going to keep it. Papa did another thing that was my channel logo that I really enjoy. It doesn't show up very well on camera. You have to see it in person. Cool stuff. So let's look over a couple of these things. Siren says, I have a few brothel and hobo nickels. They're fascinating things. I really like the older ones, right? Um, there are to do with as you please. All right. Well, I think I'm keeping it.
Well, how
Um,
many people collect knives? I think I know 3 or 4 coin collectors that collect knives.
there's a couple
Uh,
though. There's one channel that's recently new to um, the kind of the conglomerate of people who is a knife collector, comes in quite frequently, um, and
I think
doesn't
Amanda
sell
is
them.
is a knife collector. Jessica is a knife collector, and there's a couple others.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people who collect a lot of different things. Um, and so
Pinkman
what I
got
want to
coins and
do is I
knives.
want to look at duck decoys. See, there's just so
That's
much
great.
stuff that is really cool. Some of these, Weldon carry. Thank you, Dan.
Even
Appreciate
stamps,
you,
cards,
Sharika. Yeah.
all
Um,
sorts of stuff.
Go ahead, Derek.
I says there's all sort people. I mean, people collect mid-century modern furniture and decorative stuff for their house. I mean, anything. Fishing lures. There's all sorts of stuff. Send us an email with stuff like that in it. The duck and goose decoys. There's people that actually collect them and then they get into actually carving them. I've got a friend that I used to when I collected tropical fish. He used to make duck decoys. That was like his hobby. And he started from collecting them. So it's kind of amazing stuff. It goes into the artwork. Even he has done like birds and fish and stuff like that that have became kind of, he's kind of became famous for it. People collect Ducks Unlimited stuff. If you're in the Midwest, there's all sorts of stuff. Whatever you collect, let us know.
There's a lot of people who collect a lot of really cool things. But what I want to do, and I'm going to get Ida Herring on the channel one time. Ida has some amazing things outside of coins. Um, she collects some really cool things. She has a Pink Panther collection that is absolutely just amazing. Siren Bifrost does beautiful drawings. Thank you, Siren. Much appreciated. Um, and we got her friend here who's also helping move some stuff around. So I'm trying to get her to help out. She's looking at me like, but again, it's one of those things where collecting Legos. Now
There you go.
Bifrost has. Do you have your? Go grab two of your Lego things. So Bifrost loves Legos, and she collects some of those items. So, but anyway, what I want to do is on Sundays, and maybe it might just be once a month. Maybe it might be just we go over a hodgepodge of items, but showcase some of the stuff that people collect and have a couple people up as guests and find these things that are common and then have discussions about them, right? So look at these things like uh, knives. So what are you interested in, right? Some people collect drawings. Some people like to collect things that are tied to. So here is one of Bifrost's, right? Grogu, right? So um, Bifrost loves this Lego stuff. She's got some of the architectural stuff. She's got there you go. Huh? Grab the yeah, you can grab the tower. That works. She's got buildings, like she likes architectural buildings and bridges. Just crazy cool stuff. And the thing that I want to open the door to everybody is I want people to be able to showcase some of the cool stuff that is out there. Because, and I tell you guys this all the time, just because I'm a coin channel doesn't mean, and just all of a sudden we shifted some light. And now I look like I haven't seen sunlight for quite a while. So
So
stuff like
vampire, are you?
you're gonna have to move it over here a little bit more because my shoulder. There you go. So like this, right? So she loves building these
Oh, that's beautiful.
3D puzzles and
State
putting
building.
together like then this is the Empire State Building, right? So actually building these 3D model sets and actually, and it's pretty. Whoops! I just lost a piece.
3D models can be tough.
I just crashed the car. So sorry. Call the insurance company. I just wrecked a car in front of the. So, but yeah, there's a lot of those things that a lot of people collect. Um, so it doesn't necessarily have to be, like the artwork that she's doing over here or paintings or stuff like that. It could be just random stuff. And what I'll do is as we look through the list of photos and stuff that people send me, um, and again, it might just be once a month, we'll have a special showcase of, Frosties and, the community collectibles and break those things down and talk about the various things that people collect because there are so many talented people who not only collect things but actually design and build and manufacture some of the stuff. I think it would be fabulous. Um, Lex, I got your email. I'll follow up with you post stream. So thank you for sending that out. I'll discuss that with you shortly thereafter. Um, but yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to look at. There's a lot of things to um, uh, engage in. And it could be numismatic, it could be semi-numismatic. So again, we'll look at some of this stuff and we will talk about some of the stuff. Like here's one of Bifrost is showing. Here, I'll share this. Bifrost is showing some of the stuff that she's done for different people and some of the weird, cool drawings and artwork. So there's a lot of people who love art. And again, we talk about coins, and coins are cool, but you look a lot of the medallic artists, and you look at like Christian Gobrecht or Adolf Weinman, and you look at the people who design our coins. They were especially early in the numismatic realm within our nation. They were designers. Um, they designed coins. They designed and they drew and they were sculptors. And those are those things that I want to look at and kind of get people interested in um, some various aspects because just because I like and talk about coins doesn't mean that that's the only thing that people are interested in. So Robert Bruce says, when I was a very young kid, I collected train sets. I had one train set when I was. See you by Frost. Thanks for coming up and doing that. I appreciate you. She's like, I'm gonna go spend time with my friends, Dad. So, all right, y'all. You two go have fun. We will see y'all later. All right. She says bye bye. So let's go ahead and drop her down and whoop. I don't want me up here. There we go. Let's get me and Eric up here. Him and his new first strike nickel.
You like that?
It makes me laugh. So again, folks, I really want to engage in your interest. So again, exclamation point email. Send me some of the stuff that you like. Let me know what you collect in, and we will make sure that Gray Ninjas. Yeah, she is definitely talented and good. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for the new sub. I appreciate you a ton. But So I definitely want to do that. I want to engage in your guys' interest as well. So again, exclamation point, email, send me some photos. I'll be putting stuff together and then we'll coordinate an event where we just talk about all sorts of weird stuff. But I am going to work on getting Ida Hara to go over some of her Pink Panther stuff. I think you guys would really, the collection that she has is amazing. Um,
And she knows a lot about a lot of stuff too, about other than coins.
Ida is a very smart lady.
Yeah. She might be
Ida's a
somebody
very
good, a
smart lady.
specialist to get involved.
Yeah, and that's one thing, and you'll see me talk about this. When we talk about coin collecting is, and they call it the hobby of kings. It's never been the hobby of queens. It's never been one of that. It was always the hobby of kings because it was a rich man's game. But there are some people in our hobby who are female who are exceptionally talented when it comes to coin collecting and when it comes to this stuff. Um, Hey, speak of the devil, I was just going to mention you.
Good
Good
morning.
good
Good
morning. How are
morning.
you?
I'm good.
This is one of the ladies down here that I wholeheartedly consider a mentor, especially in this hobby. Look at Amanda, uh, uh, coins making or coin and card hobbyist, right? She is extremely knowledgeable. Ida pretends not to know stuff, but Ida's extremely smart with a lot of stuff. Now, it doesn't mean that she knows what she's looking for when it comes to errors and varieties. This is why she's friends with Paula. Um,
Mhm.
but Ida has some amazing collectible items, and I want to have her up one time. I really want her to show everybody her Pink Panther collection because her Pink Panther collection is amazing. Um, she's got some really, really cool stuff. So I think that would be cool for her to share with some of you guys the amazing collections she has. So I think it'd be fun to do that. I think that'd be just a fun Sunday one day where we just talk about more random stuff, not necessarily just coins in the hobby, but more about just general collectibles. I think that would be something that's fun. So if
What
you
the
guys
heck
think that
does
would be
Eric
fun, and if
have up
that's
there?
say again,
It's my
Did you guys already talk about that?
yeah,
yeah,
we already
it's
talked
my
about that.
non-genuine first strike coin. You should watch out
First
for freaks like
strikes,
this.
first Mike.
Well, we were talking about the Stax Bauer ones.
Oh,
The ones that
Um,
Matt and Mike talked about on the Coin Show podcast
yeah,
yesterday.
I didn't watch them last night.
you
Oh,
were
that's a
missing.
bummer. So they talked about the Royal Mint and how they're actually doing the first strike coins. So they're like taking the very first
There's
10
only
coins.
one first strike coin.
That's right. They're doing like the first 10 of the
They're doing the
gold and
first
then the
10.
first 250 of the silver.
Then they
Yeah.
And they're
can't call it first strike.
well, they can well, they're yeah, first it's actually called first strikes.
First strikes.
And
First
actually
strike, second
some of
strike,
them say
third
first
strike.
and early strikes
Yeah.
on the
Yeah, we were
uh,
talking about if you were the first person to get number 1 out
yeah,
of
they
all
said
the
they
5
call it
gold
the first
coins.
strike series.
They're
Yeah.
going to be they're going to be again, it's a rich man's gamut, right?
Yeah.
It's just another thing targeted toward collectors. The reason that I wanted to talk about is when I listened to this on the Coin Show podcast yesterday, the first thing that came into my mind was there's going to be people manipulating this to sell these other coins for more. And so we need to be leery of that and watch that because, again, where there's a great idea, there's people utilizing that great idea for nefarious purposes. So I wanted to talk about that at the beginning. And then Bifrost came up and did a little bit of a drawing, uh,
Aw,
came in,
missed it.
visited for a little bit. And now we're just at that time where we just talk general chit chat.
What
Oh,
about
good.
James Earl Jones?
Oh, isn't
Oh,
that
yeah.
sad?
I wanted
Oh.
it. Yeah. So a lot of people didn't know. I did a short about James Earl Jones. And the one thing that there were a ton of comments that they didn't know that he was actually a coin collector. And he was actually quite the prolific coin collector. The problem
Yeah, one of
is,
the top 10 celebrity coin collectors in the country.
yeah,
Mm.
the problem is he never relayed all the coins he had. Like he kept it very private. Wayne Gretzky, who's also a very famed numismatist, and has an amazing collection of coins, doesn't share what he has either. I know in reading a little bit about James Earl Jones that James Earl Jones, if you guys haven't seen, well, first off, let's do this. Let's put a one in chat if you guys have ever seen the James Earl Jones video called Money and the History of Money.
Yeah, what was it, 1995 video he put out?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's a great video. There's a lot of great information in that. But a lot of people just thought that he was just narrating. The ANA went to him and asked him to narrate that because of his interest in this. We had somebody in chat the other day who had a coin shop and had him come in, and he was looking at some art piece or Mickey Mantle card, baseball card or something. And back in the 80s, 90s, it was a $1,500 card, not a $20,000, $30,000 card like it is today. And they were like, "Well, you don't happen to have cash?" He's like, "No." But he was a prolific collector. He collected some amazing things. But I could only find a couple coins that he was presumed to have based off of what was going on, and I couldn't find the list anymore. Scoured, pulled my searches up, used some of the stuff to try to identify it, and I couldn't find any of the coins listed that he has.
Yeah, there was very little information.
The only coin that I know he has, 100% know he has, was because there was an interview that happened with Johnny Carson that, because of some conflicts that happened, things that were stated, had been pulled down. But I remember seeing it, and he had a doubloon that had been cut, and what had actually they'd gone through, and it was listed in different like a piece of 8, but it was there was a set in which it was like cut into 3 pieces. So like it was a 4-bit, a 2-bit, and one piece of the 1-bit, so it was missing one section. And he was asking people to look, and this is they were giving specifics about what they were looking for and what year it was, and trying to identify. But he was able to match up these pieces from other ones that were out there, and put almost a whole one together that he had found from different locations. And that's the only coin that I know he has. I was trying, really trying. I even reached out to the ANA to see if they had any information, and they weren't able to provide me any information on his collection. But yeah, he was quite the prolific collector.
The odds are that his collection will be going up for sale, and that's just a sad fact.
That's true.
So keep an eye out for that.
But the question, here's the problem.
Because we're about to find out what exactly he had in his collection.
Assuming that they drop it under his name. Because if he does what some of them do, like we were talking, Eric and I were talking.
They would be stupid if they didn't. It would bring
because
more
it would
money
get a premium with his name on it.
That's right.
Yeah.
It would be dumb not to.
And that would be a survivor's wishes, I'm sure. But I'm sure that they're not. I mean, I don't know what the big deal would be about him selling a coin that had his name attached to it.
Yeah.
So, but I just think about James Earl Jones. I mean, is there anybody in chat that doesn't know who James Earl Jones was? Like, honestly.
They may even like display it around for a while.
That is possible. I mean, there has been not this year, but a couple of years in the last 5 years at the Fun Show that they've had huge collections from people who have passed away that were being auctioned through Heritage at the Fun Show.
Yeah.
Hey, Check Stacker, you don't have to pay for it. It's free. I will pull up the video. You can actually go to the ANA. Google ANA James Earl Jones money video. and you can actually watch it for free. You don't have to pay for the video. You don't have to buy it. Now, if you want to buy it, the
It's
price went
called
from like,
Money History in Your Hands, right?
yeah. Um, but
History in Your Hands.
you don't have to buy it. You can watch it free. Um, so it's one of those things where if you want a copy, you can. The price has already jumped about $10 per video in the week that he's been gone. But he died at 93 years old, and he was very, very prolific in um, art and cinema, but you know, anything
Yeah,
to
he
do
liked
with
theater.
acting. Yeah.
He was
And
passionate about.
but a lot of people didn't know that he was a numismatist, and he had an absolute love for it. He loved the history of coins. He was one of the reasons I started doing, like, going really into the history of coins, not just from his video, but because when he would narrate, he would talk about different things. And I can't remember where we were at. I was with my grandfather, and he had bought me my first seated Liberty $50. And it was in 1873. And this was, 40 years ago. I think I was 9 or 10 years old. And while we were doing, we were at, I can't remember where we were at. We were in Oakland, or San Francisco area. And no, hold on. I take that back. It wasn't there. It was Bakersfield. Is it Bakersfield? Emmett? I can't remember. Anyway, California somewhere. I think we were visiting my one of my uncles. I'll have to remember where that was at. Anyway, we went to one of the coin shops, and while we were there, they were talking about James Earl Jones and some of the stuff that he had done, and some of the stuff. Betty Ebsen, yeah, I did a video on Buddy Ebsen. Buddy Ebsen has one of my favorite. Had before his passing had one of my favorite coins, which was the $4 Stella proof, flowing hair variety.
Stella.
Absolutely an amazing coin. That probably rates up there on my top five as one or two. Absolutely love the story behind that piece. The fact that it was done to do currency, but also try and find some method for um, uh, bringing people more understanding of, like, the weighting, and when you look at the back, the designations that are there, the grains, how much it weighed, what's done internationally. So try to put somebody more on an international standard, but make that standard US. There were a lot of things that were inherent in that $4 coin, relating to finances in the US, trying to really put a foothold into the market for the gold. So many really cool things behind that particular coin. Um, and it's just a beautiful piece. And there's
Papa York
what,
said, Capsia.
less than 600 were minted, 560,
Capsia. Have a
540 or
good day,
something like that.
Papa York.
See you, Papa York. Have a good day, man. But again, it's just one of those things where there's some absolutely amazing things. We were talking about Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky is number one for famous people with coin collections. Has an amazing
He was,
collection.
yeah. Nicole Kidman. I had no clue she was a
Oh yeah,
coin collector.
she's a hardcore collector. Um, Nicolas Cage. Now, many people know that Nicolas Cage has a 1913, or had. I don't know if he has. I think he had to sell it.
He got in
1913
tax problems, so
Liberty nickel. He's rumored to have one of the 33 Godin double eagles. But of course, nobody can validate or verify that. They say that his collection's worth over $10 million. Um, but yeah, there's some famous people. But again, with the passing of James Earl Jones, it was just something that I wanted to kind of chit chat, because a lot of people just did not know that he was a prolific numismatist. They know him as Darth Vader. They know him as Mufasa. They knew him as, is this heaven? It's like, no, it's Iowa. from you know, what is the
Is it the Sandlot or something like that?
no, this was the if you build it, they will come.
Oh,
Uh,
Field of
Field of Dreams.
Dreams or yeah.
Um, the Coming to America, playing the king of the father of Eddie Murphy in Coming to America. Uh, Roots,
He's
looking at
done
some of
lots of
some of the movies that he was in, and the fabulous number of cinema, Broadway, you name it. Fabulous artist. So again, just wanted to let people know that he was hardcore coin collector, and I'm really hoping that we can find uh, some stuff out about his collection because I really, really would like to find some stuff out about his collection. I tried to pull stuff, and again, like I said, I reached out to the A&A to see if they knew anything about some of his collection. They couldn't give me any information. So, but it's
He
fun
did
stuff.
have a unique voice.
Oh
Well,
man,
I think
iconic.
a better way would have been to contact like PCGS registry or something.
But a lot of that stuff, if they don't list it under their name, they're lawfully bound by not sharing information.
Well,
And
registry sites are typically people register them under their own, but
well, but there are a number of people that are registered. So, for instance, when you look at some of the collections, the collection is registered, but the people who are a part of that collection may not be. Um, and when they finally go to sell it, they might drop the name of the person who's a part of that conglomerate, but not always. We saw that recently with the Stella that just dropped from Great Collections that sold for 400 and some odd $1,000. And they finally dropped the name of they had the collection that it belonged to, but they finally dropped the name of the person who actually was the owner of the coin, which they hadn't done before. Um, so sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. I hope they do it for James Earl Jones. I really do. I think it would be really cool to be able to get to see some of the stuff that he had because he was very hush hush about his collection, and I would really, really, really like to see some of the stuff he had. I think it would be amazing. So, how are you feeling, Paula?
I'm okay.
You feeling better?
Your voice is starting to come back to normal.
Yeah, I mean, it's in and out, so I'm okay.
Trying to adjust
Just
this.
tired, you know. I said it'll take like 5 weeks for me to get back to like totally
Well, that
normal.
and they're probably going to have to adjust medications up and down, and
Yeah.
that can all make you tired too.
ATS just bought his first gold coin yesterday. What did you get, ATS? I met ATS for the first time in Tulsa. Good guy. Speaking of good guys, has anybody heard from Silver Bull 30?
No,
What?
he's getting his pickle wet.
Yeah, that happens.
He's
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
the pickle tickled.
Yeah, love puts the collecting behind for a
It
while.
does. It puts the kibosh on it. I've talked about that many times.
Yep. Well, the reason I got out of coin collecting for a number of years, well, it wasn't that I got out of it, but I had Bifrost.
It just stalls.
So, it was more
It's the
taking
reason
care.
most men, and I'll just say it because it's a fact, it's a statistical fact. It's the reason most men there is a gap between like 30 and 50. There's like a 20-year gap there that that the numbers for male collectors drop significantly.
That's true. Oh, there she is. Oh, she's back. She's
What
gone.
happened?
I don't know. That was weird.
Now she's back.
Anyway, there's a gap, an age gap for male collectors.
And I bet you it is with female collectors too. You just don't realize it because you
Just
don't
not
hear
as much. Like, I mean, so there's two age gaps. There's one when they're teenagers, and then there's one when they're about 30.
Yeah, mine was when I was raising kids, I didn't do a lot
Mm-hmm.
of hobby stuff because I
Yep.
didn't have any extra money. I was raising kids.
Mm-hmm.
So
So ATS said he picked up an MS-65 1935 20 franc gold coin.
ooh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, sounds like a beauty. ATS, send me a photo. Email me a photo and I'll pull it up. Yeah, that sounds like a fun coin to get. Congratulations on your first gold purchase. That's always fun. That's always fun. You know what one of my first gold purchases were?
Anesthesia, brain fog, probably kin of mine.
From
I
that
don't
woman
do
right
well
there.
with anesthesia.
Say again?
What? What were you pointing at?
You.
Me for what?
One of my first gold coins.
Oh, your ship.
Yep. My
Mm,
what is that? It was
I don't
the
know.
Pacific
It's
Battle in the Pacific. The
a Coral Sea.
Coral, yeah, Battle of Coral Sea. There you go. Yep, and I stole it from Chief. I didn't actually steal it from Chief, but he was like, "I'm gonna get there, and I'm gonna get to Paula before you." And I was like,
I said, whoever gets there first gets it. I'm not picking favorites,
Oh,
so.
I looked at that video the other day, and I was like, hey Chief, look."
Mhm.
Oh, that was funny. It was good to see him in Ida
I
stream the
think
other
that
day.
was
I
I
need to
got that coin through a trade with Red, I think.
say again.
I think I got that coin through a trade with Big Red Bullion with Red, my friend.
Yeah, it was good to see him on the premiere train. He brought some stuff up. He did a really neat custom pour for Mad
I
Stacker.
have lots of his pores.
Of a little little Mad Hatter, really cool that he gave to him for all the stuff that he had done from the premiere train. It was really cool. But
Oh,
yeah, he's talented. I've got a couple of his pours.
very
Um,
talented.
two of them are ship based, and then I've got a couple different pieces. But I've got some pieces from quite a few people that
In
are
fact,
fun in
most of my
this.
silver that I own is poured silver.
Hey, what's up, Vote for Pedro? Good morning. Hope you're doing well, sir.
And Red, just to let you know, I love my pores more than I love my luggage. But if silver goes up to 100 an ounce, somebody else is going to love those pores more than me. Just letting you know ahead of time.
Yeah, it's again, it's a so I the reason I like collecting silver and gold and stuff like that is because if I'm going to be spending the money anyway, I want to have something for it, something that I can set that off, and so it's a really good offset in that regard. Um, but I'm really starting to kind of back away from the high end shiny silver stuff because
And that's
it's
the stuff I like.
yeah, it's
So,
nice, and don't get me wrong, I still have it and play around and do whatever, and but I need to become smarter with my money. So I'm making some decisions. My wife is
I just
helping
buy
me with that.
random stuff here and there.
I do too.
So, but
It's like I'm there and I look at it and it's like, oh, something the little guy on my shoulder says, yeah, maybe you should do it. And then the other one says, no, no, that might not be a good idea.
I have a real bad,
what's going on, Kevin?
not really an addiction, but a love for Dan Carr stuff. And some of it does real well on the secondary market, um but I just like it all. Like I have some of his I have a couple of Michael Kittle's, the Glendale Coin Club. Um medals that Dan Carr did that are the 55 double die, and they really don't have much value on the secondary market, but
They
I
ain't
do
cheap.
love
I'm
like
looking at
Daniel
his
Carr.
website.
I love his overstrikes and stuff, and yeah, some of his overstrikes are like pretty rare. Um, but I
So,
do
for
love
those of
his.
you that don't know, you want to talk a little bit about who Daniel Carr is and what his
So
history is?
he, I can't tell you a whole lot about his history. I probably should know more than I do. But years ago, he acquired a press, and I think it was a Bliss press. Was it a Bliss press? It may have been a Bliss press. Anyway, he acquired a press, a coining press from the Denver Mint, an actual press, and refurbished it. Found a ton of like dies and error coins and collar dies and finger feeders and all kinds of things that inside the mechanisms and everything. But anyway, he refurbished it and he started doing like overstrikes and different types of metals and things like that. Um, and he's made quite a living doing it.
Yeah, he doesn't have one thing basically available on his website. There you can get silver bars. Almost everything's sold out.
Yeah, I really like his. Well, he has an eBay store. You can check out his eBay store. Um, but there are lots of third parties who sell his stuff too.
Yeah.
And his stuff does well on the secondary market. Some stuff's a lot more expensive than others because he has some stuff that's like 15, minted to 15 but some obnoxious number like that. But
So,
he does a lot of like shipwreck um restrikes and just different things. He makes his own dies but everything he does is struck on that press that he has. And it's really cool. He's the one who did not the 1964
Peace
um,
dollar.
peace dollar and the 1975 Washington quarters and
1910 Indian head cents.
yeah, yeah, all of
I'm looking
these
at his site right now.
obscure date things and stuff.
there's some really cool stuff. So he goes under Moonlight
It's the
Mint.
Moonlight Mint.
Yep, and along with Clark
I
Gruber.
should have said that from the beginning,
Yeah.
but
So,
Dan Carr's Moonlight Mint.
now he actually is a designer who actually has had his designs
He's
through
done several of the
yeah
quarters.
state quarter
Yes.
program. Rhode Island
Hmm.
was one of the ones that he has done. He was actually one of the 7 finalists on the Sacagawea. And so he's quite prolific when it comes to actual legitimate coinage of
Engraving and
yeah.
designing.
So he's very talented. Now he's done some stuff. Now these are like the restrikes that are there. He comes in and finds these and then redesigns these and then does um, anniversary commemorative medals, right? And so some of these are really, really cool. Now you guys know why I'm showing this one, right? Here, hink, wink, wink, hint, hint. It's got
Oh,
a
I
ship
have
on it.
one. I have one you might like. Let me go find it.
But he does quite a few other items when looking at concept presidential dollars. So, like looking at some of the stuff that has been done for some of this stuff, like he's designed some of the reverses. Like this is one of the reverses that he designed for the competition for the presidential reverses. Um, and so he's done some really cool stuff. Um, I really like this proof.
Yeah,
It's a
I really
good
like his
looking,
stuff.
yeah, it's a good looking reverse. It really is clean, good detail. This would be fly poop if you ever found like double dies in here. But again, just really cool. I like the ornateness of the rim. Um, it's very good. I like the little, the little privy style marks and stuff that he has, the dating stuff that's there. So there's some really cool stuff. So again, I when you hear when you hear Daniel Carr, a lot of people think kind of like a counterfeiter, but he's not a counterfeiter. It is more along the lines of um, his designs. Oh, beauty.
And of course, the light's gonna
Yeah, it's going to
mess
mess with it
around
a
with
little
it,
bit.
but let me see if I can get
Got
it.
a real Atosha coin.
Yeah, this is just a
Yeah, that's beauty.
And actually, if I remember right, he did the restrikes for Mel Fisher on the Atosha coins. So if
I
you buy
believe
a
that's
restruck,
true. Yeah.
yeah, if you buy a restruck coin, because I've got a ring that's restruck, and I remember that name, Dan Carcom, and my wife's got an 8 riel necklace that's made from Atosha silver.
yeah.
And
This is actually made from Atosha silver.
right, and that was done
Yeah.
by Dan Carr. Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there are, but again, very, very talented. Okay. Very talented individual.
Very talented.
And again, just a lot of people are like, well, it's Daniel Carr, so you can't ever tell if it's real or fake. He labels his stuff. He's
He does.
on the up and up. Now,
well, and if he does something that's like totally perfect, it's a date that doesn't exist.
Yep, exactly.
like the 1964.
Yep.
Now here's one. This is one of the ones that she was talking about when it comes to like the overstrikes and stuff like this. Again, absolutely amazing. But when you look at, again, when you're looking at this, again, overstrike USA dollar matte finish, right? It gives you all the details, tell you what's going on. He's very clear right here. Like this is one thing that I like about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's illegal for fraudulent purposes, but understand, full disclosure, this is what this is, right? Very clear. There's no nefarious purpose for this. Now, not to say that somebody wouldn't buy this and do something with it and try to fake pass it off as whatever, but he's very straight up and up about this. So, but cool stuff.
Well, and much of his stuff has a like a D or a DC hidden somewhere on the coin. So
Have you seen this one?
mm-hmm. I have some of his. Hang on, I'll go get it too.
These are some of the parody medals he has. I love it. This one makes me laugh so hard. The empty rectangle state.
I have two of these.
Oh, too much fun.
I gotta turn this because it's bugging me. I have two dates of these 2020 and 2021. The world shut down, and then on the back he's got these. That is our balance, our national debt.
Yeah, lots of fun stuff. And again, for those of you, I need to see that would be a fun interview to have him up and show some of the stuff he does.
So those were fun.
Yeah, this is one I want to get. If anybody ever comes across one of these, let me know. Everybody's talking about Texas being the biggest state.
Oh, he has lots of parody ones.
Yeah, I love this one though. Alaska would swallow us whole. It's just some cool stuff. He's got some fun stuff there. Here, this is for you, Eric.
Yeah, he has lots of the hanging Chad. I love that. Yeah, he has lots of parody quarters.
The hanging Chad, wonderful.
Yeah, there you go.
I think, does he call those patterns or something? Or
He calls them parody
experimental,
quarters.
experimental, something.
Yeah, there's there's a ton of these that are hilarious.
And then those are the overstrikes that are the Glendale Coin Club one. You can still see the design of the ASC on there.
Now, how does he get away with doing those?
What, the overstrikes?
Yeah.
Well, because they're.
That's what he's using for the planchets.
Yeah.
And that's not uncommon through the world. There was countries that for years would strike other countries' coins. Brazil, I think, is the one that comes to mind.
I mean, why do you mean what? There's nothing illegal about it, right?
Yeah.
I have some of the Landis Studio, the nickels too, that are overstruck. And those aren't Dan Carr. Those are Landis. Ron Landis, but he does kind of similar stuff to Dan Carr. But anyway.
Yeah, lots of cool stuff there.
There is lots of stuff out there that's the beauty of this hobby. Like, I mean, it's so far reaching, extensive.
Yeah, there are quite a few cool things out there. And again, this is one reason that I want to extend people to show kind of the things that they collect, because there's so much stuff out there to collect that you can't possibly try to figure it and find it all yourself. A lot of times Paula will show stuff like we talk about elongated scents, and I've seen the machines everywhere, just never really thought about it. But there's an entire like coin hobby community. Like there's an official charter and everything for people who collect elongated scents. I didn't know that until recently. So there's so many of these things that are numismatic, semi-numismatic, exonumia, that are all tied to the hobby, that it's just amazing to be able to kind of look at and see some of the items that are there. I look at not just the artistry, looking at some of the shipwreck stuff, or as Daniel Carr calls it, the treasure cobs. Looking at some of the redesigns and what these coins should have looked like when they were brand new. They're amazing, right? Looking at some of the information there, it's absolutely fabulous to look at some of the stuff that's there and go, wow, this is really cool. I didn't know this existed. So it's really, in my opinion, it's cool to be able to find out what other people enjoy and what other people look at, because only through that, only by seeing other people's stuff, let me rephrase that. Only by seeing the things people collect. I don't want to see your stuff. Don't send me pictures of your stuff. I want to be very clear, because there's going to be somebody out there that does something like that. So please don't do that. But by seeing that kind of the differences in the hobby and what happens, then we're going to see some pretty cool things come from this. So I'm really interested in seeing those things that you collect, and people that are interested in various aspects of this hobby. I think it's pretty cool. So what do you got going on today, Eric? What are you going to be doing?
I got a reveal at 5, but I'm going to go out and do some yard work.
I got to get some yard
store.
work done. I have been seriously slacking in mine.
It's just been so hot here. It's like I do it because I have to. It's been so hot you can't do it to actually make your yard look good. It's just like make your yard look good enough to where you don't get a ticket. You know.
Oh, my yard is a little bit better than that.
Well, my
But
grass literally in the last week I've cut it twice, and the last time I cut it, it was almost 2 feet tall in spots.
oh,
So it literally grew 2 feet in 4 or 5 days.
wow.
Oh, nice, Kevin. Are you part of the TEC, Kevin? I am.
Elongated Scent Club.
So how many of you, besides the Kevin don't say anything, know what I have on the screen?
Oh, hold on just a sec. I know what that is.
You do? It's a coin. Ding, ding, ding. Congratulations. Captain
Just a
Obvious.
guess.
I know you know, Kevin. Do you know, Eric?
I have seen that coin on somebody's on a web page. There was a group of 4 or 5 of them, wasn't there, that were different?
Yes. Well, no. I mean, different.
The
there
art
were
was different on them.
3 different compositions.
Okay.
Yeah. Different compositions, different strike character.
So I'm thinking it's something to do with Landis, though, since you talked about them.
It does have to do with Landis. It also has to do with Felix Schlag.
I was shocked when I was looking about the Landis.
Schlag, however you want to say it. Schlag.
He's a big
Schlag.
hobo nickel guy.
Yes, big hobo nickel.
And I've got a friend. Well, he's in Lithuania, but he was here for 20 years. He went to some camp out in Montana and learned how to do hobo nickels, and he gets $100, $200, $300 for some of his stuff that he does now.
That's correct. They're saying it. Kevin said it. Matt T said it. This was the Felix Schlag's original Monticello design for the nickel. And I like it.
I kind of like it.
A lot of people think that it's very cartoonish looking, but I think it's better than
I think that's why I like it.
So what's cool about this particular coin, and the reason that I know this is because if you're in France, if you go to Paris, there is a building Thomas Jefferson frequented. It's not too far from the Eiffel Tower. That is the building where the Monticello building was actually coined from. And so if you see that, it's right on the bank of the river. And you can see it next to the primary bridge. It's got all the gold statues and stuff. It's just to the left as you're heading across, basically across the river from the Louvre. And that building is the building that Monticello was taken out of.
Okay.
So if you look at that particular building, that's the only reason I knew what that coin was.
Kevin, yes, there is, but you have to be recruited the way I understand it. This guy was doing hobo nickels before he went there, and he was a bartender, and he owned a pawn shop, and he would do because he used to buy dateless buffalo nickels from me to do these hobo nickels.
There is a hobo nickel carving class for the summer seminar also.
Yeah, well, this was some guy that was real famous. And he would look, because this guy was selling his stuff on eBay for like $20.
Brent Pearson
finally contacted him and said, "Hey, you're really good. You should come to this camp. This is what it entails." Mm-hmm. And he quit his job and sold his pawn shop and went. I have no clue where it is. I just know that he moved away and went there. And then he was there for a couple of years, and then he moved to California, and then he ended up moving back to Lithuania.
Well, there is a Facebook group. Let me look and see if it says anything.
So, Paula, where did you get that coin from?
From Ron Landis.
That's
he
cool.
did. He actually sold a So there, he did some overstrikes and some restrikes a few years ago. I want to say back in like 2018 or 2019. And you could buy the 3 different ones: the silver proof, the matte proof, or the one struck on a 5-cent nickel. And then he also did some buffaloes overstruck on nickel planchets, which are amazingly cool.
Yeah,
I
this
have
guy
some of those too, but
here, I got an image of one of his
and he
hobo
did a
nickels.
gold one. But Ron Landis also did the original ones in 1999 for the Jefferson Nickel Collectors Club. I think that's what it was called, the Ron Landis original ones, and the obverse on those are different. And they're very, very expensive. Very expensive if you can get your hands on those. The original ones, I think 1999. Jefferson Nickel. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
My son. I know, it's my son.
Allergies kicking his butt.
Oh, he just sneezes constantly. Yeah, and the Gallery Mint. The Gallery Mint. Felix Schlag Nichols. So this was back in 2021 was when he did the restrikes of those. I'm trying to think. Trying to look up here. Kevin, you know what it is. He's probably putting it in chat already.
Say that again.
The Jefferson Nickel. The ones he did in 1999.
Yeah, this is a hobo nickel by the one guy that I know. Let me get it up here.
We've talked about hobo nickels on here before. Brent Pearson. Yeah, there's a hobo nickel Facebook group that I'm part of.
Yeah, this guy, his name is, I always called him Getty, but his name is Gediminas Pelsis or something like that.
I think he's in that group.
He probably is. His stuff at a minimum goes for, like $150. Some of his stuff goes into the thousands.
Hacker, Jay Fiore, David He. Let me go to people. Yeah, it's funny because people who collect hobo nickels and elongated cents and stuff are often it's oftentimes the same people. Like
Sure, love tokens too.
Yeah, love tokens. Yep, I have lots of love tokens.
There's another name for them too. I don't remember what it is, but basically, it was people who were at
trench
war.
art.
Yeah,
trench
art. That's it.
Hey, Indigenous, how you doing, bud? Yeah, I want to do another. I want to do another one on hobo nickels. That was a fun one. Again, this is one of those items that if you have those, send photos and we can do that as well. This is another reason for this.
Yes, that's it, Kevin.
Yeah,
yes,
cool stuff.
That's it, Kevin. The 38 Jefferson Nickel award-winning design, the JFSNC presents a Jefferson Full Step Nickel Club is what it is. Jefferson Full Step Nickel Club. Okay, for some reason I was thinking the obverse was different on those, but I guess not. There is a pattern coin with a different obverse on the Jefferson nickel that's kind of goofy looking, but yeah, that's it, Kevin. Thank you.
I
for
think
sending
the
that.
guy that runs that school in Montana is Barry Lee Hands, or I see a post here about some guy saying that he went for a basic course, and to get into the advanced courses, you have to be invited. But he engraves
Yeah, I don't know anything.
Zippo
I
lighters.
do know that I believe it's the Fun Show. One of those shows, but I believe it's the Fun Show, or maybe not the Fun Show, maybe the summer seminar that has a course every year in hobo nickel carving.
I think the Fun Show's had it. The Fun Show's had tables. The Fun Show has a big elongated cent table there too. Not just the ones that make them, but they have ones like are really rare from the late 1800s and stuff like that.
Yeah, they have the TEC club usually sets up.
Yeah.
At those bigger shows. Yeah.
I know that the one guy that works at the local coin shop here, he's like really involved in it.
Nice.
Every time I go in, he's like, "Did you sign your granddaughter up for it yet? I remember you saying she loves it." And it's like, no, she's not interested in it anymore. She's like 20 years old. She's got other things on her mind now. Getting back to not collecting what you like. There's when she collected elongated cents, and now you don't hear nothing about it anymore. I do know she still likes them because I still, when I get a hold of some, sometimes I get them, send them to her. So, and I get her a Fun Show one every year. Get my wife a Fun Show one every year. Get you a Fun Show one every year.
I know, that's so
the lady
sweet.
Goes, "Wow." I says, "I know a lot of people that collect them."
Yeah. And it's fun because they're a cheap souvenir. You know what I mean? Like if I'm happy going to wherever I go and just getting a elongated cent.
Yep.
When we went to Buc-ee's, I was lucky enough because a lot of these places have the old, the hand cranks, which are the best.
Yeah.
Because you can actually use your own host coin. And I found a Canadian cent in the take a penny, give a penny thing. And I said, "Can I take this?" And so I traded her out and I went and enrolled a Canadian
Nice.
cent. It came out great. It was nice and dirty. And yeah.
I like Buc-ee's. I had my first Buc-ee's experience a couple months ago.
I like their Buc-ee's bites or nuggets or whatever, but I don't like their banana pudding.
I bought some beef jerky there, but I basically went there to get a cup of coffee both times I went there.
And I was a little disappointed with their pickles.
And I love the gas. The gas station is good because, you never have to wait. There's always an open pump.
Right.
At the gas station that's got 200 pumps, there's a open pump.
Yeah. Me too, Kevin. I saw the TEC that they had their machine at I think it was at Fun Show, and they were pressing gold coins. People were buying gold coins, and
there was a big thing that if you wanted to press because you had to pay to press your own coin, like the ones I gave you, they have them pressed already. But there was people that were doing Indian head cents.
Yeah, Indian head cents.
The Indian head cent in the back.
They were switching out dies because they had dies for larger denominations and smaller. There were some that were doing Colombian halves. I saw some of those. I saw some gold coins being pressed. Mostly like world gold,
right.
Gold. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, there was some people there that were doing the Indian head cent. They were trying to get where you could see it just like a stretched head.
Mm-hmm.
Back, and they got a couple that were pretty good.
I have several of those. I have some older elongated cents too.
My wife likes. She's got probably 40 or 50 of them laying around here that she's found throughout the years.
I don't think I have a 2 cent, Kevin, but I have a 3 cent. I have a 3
I think she's got a nickel that's made into one.
Mm-hmm. I have dimes and nickels and quarters, and those are fun. They're fun. Yeah, I just collect weird stuff. I have weird stuff.
But see, that's what makes this hobby fun is the fact that people collect a variety of items, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
that's that's one reason that I want to do what I talked about in relation to other people's items. It's let's share some of the fascinating things. Like I would love to see Paula's elongated scent collection. I would like to see
Man, it's
some of the
big.
random stuff that Eric has. I would like to show, I showed you guys one of the pieces that I got from uh, the person that I rented from, my very first home that I rented from, the Chinese couple who did not want me to leave. They wanted me to stay there. They were like, stay there as a renter. They gave me a really cool piece and some of the pieces that I've collected over the years. But I want to see. It's fun talking about stuff that I have, but I would way rather see stuff that you all have, and talk about some of the fun stuff that's there. Um, and so I want to see that. So again, exclamation point, email, and send me some photos of some of the cool stuff. And then what I'll do is I'll lump some of that stuff together. We'll do a stream specifically for that. We'll talk about the various items that are there, what people have, what the collections are, what people uh, can send that 2, 3 people have, and then we'll talk about it. We'll talk about the histories. We'll talk about where the stuff comes from. Have people come up, talk a little bit about the collection, where you did it, what the premise behind it was. So, like in coins, a lot of stories start with the grandparents taking their kids and interest in them. But not everybody. Some of them, like
Mm-hmm.
mine, the real desire for me to have certain coins was the birth of my child and wanted to get coins that were 100 or 200 years old on the year that she was born in. And so we all have different reasons for collecting, and I want to hear some of those stories. I want to
I
see
didn't
some of
start
the
until my
things.
mid. I was in my middle 40s.
Say again?
I didn't start until I was in my middle 40s.
Yeah, and so there's different reasons that people do things. Now, Paula was
Mm-hmm.
very blessed to have some mentors that were
Yes,
kings in this hobby.
I was
Um,
super blessed.
very honored to have relationships, still does, with people
Mm-hmm.
who are experts in the field. They would never call themselves experts, but usually the experts are. Um, but so I look at Paula and listen to Paula very intently when it comes to this stuff because of her knowledge, but where she gained her knowledge from. It's not like me
Amen.
where I've had a few people in my life that have taught this, but I'm studied. I like to read. I like to find out the questions. I research it and then I do a video on it. But I'm still learning. Like I learn every day, and I listen to some of the stuff. See, Kevin uh, talk about some of the stuff that he runs across, and it's like, how do you remember all this stuff? Listening to Blue Ridge, how do you
Mm-hmm.
remember all of this stuff?
Repetition.
And it's yeah, and that's all they do it all the time, right? And
Well, a lot of what I learn about though is just because of questions that I get.
That, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I am forced to
what up,
research
James?
things that I wouldn't normally research and nobody would normally research, right? So I
that's right.
am that is a huge blessing for me as an educator. I get my research material directly from you guys. Um,
All things silver says started during being locked up in the house during COVID. You know what? COVID supercharged
it
Oh,
the
sure
hobby
did.
for a
absolutely.
lot of people for a
It
while.
Yep.
sure
And the
did.
prices of numismatics jumped during 2021 as
Yes,
well. Yeah.
I got into it more. I while I was into it before that for about 3 years before that, it really I really did a lot more during COVID.
Hey, Paula, Indigenous Treasure, she's on the other side, says that he loves your insight. So, FYI.
Aw, thanks. Thank
I'm going to go
you.
off camera for just a second. I'm going to go grab Bifrost. I'll be right back.
I do have some amazing mentors that, and the thing is that I feel like I have a responsibility to pass on the stuff that I learned from these older guys, even
Well, we
though
all do.
I'm
We
no
all do.
spring chicken.
Yeah.
I am no spring chicken.
And you're the kids in the hobby.
Yeah, but if we don't pass it down, then it's gonna end up being lost forever.
That's right.
Because these guys can only write down so much.
Well,
much of what we teach is word of mouth. It's
and
not
many
written
of them
anywhere.
won't teach any. Many of them are just like, I'm not even dealing with it.
Yeah.
I get that a lot.
I do too. Yeah.
Most of all my mentors, besides Chuck is a mentor,
Mm-hmm.
and like I was telling Frosty, he knows stuff about coins that it's just not interesting to him. But he like ran a coin shop for years and years and years, and it was a big coin shop. So he knows. He just doesn't deal with it. So when you ask a question, he'll like, oh yeah, and he'll spout the answer off. It's like, wow, why? Why didn't you tell anybody you knew about that stuff? He goes, it's not copper. I have no interest in it. But there's most of the mentors I had, they're passed away, not just a few years, but 20, some of them 20 years. So.
All right. So this is what we're going to do. You can see that she popped back
Sorry,
up.
my grandson's having a meltdown. Today's his actual 3rd birthday, and he wants a cupcake.
Well, happy birthday.
He wants a cupcake for breakfast.
Let him have a cupcake for breakfast. It's his birthday.
He's having it, not before church.
Oh, gotcha.
I'll get him all jacked up on sugar before church.
No.
That's good for you.
He tends to get kind of a potty mouth.
James says, good morning, Mini Frost.
Oh, yeah, I've heard him.
He's learned some interesting words. Mm-hmm.
So James Sands is one of Bifrost's friends. Bifrost is back. She's going to do a drawing.
Yay, there she is.
We're going to go ahead and send this off. So what I'm going to do is, Paula, I want you to name a cartoon character. It doesn't matter who it is.
Name a cartoon character.
Name a cartoon character.
Marvin the Martian.
Marvin the Martian. Okay. So she's going to draw Marvin the Martian. Just do a quick one. Do you want it with Emodium P38, or do you want it with his dog?
He has the space modulator.
Yeah. I don't care. Just give her artistic.
You have artistic design. Do you want to do a mashup of Marvin the Martian and somebody else? She's like, no.
Artistic license. She has artistic license.
Artistic license. Whatever you want to draw, you can fire it away. All right. So she's going to, the next 15 minutes or so.
Do it with like a like Friday the 13th or Jason Voorhees or one of those.
Marvin the Martian with a mullet.
Yeah. Oh, with a mullet. My grandson has a mullet right now. It's delicious.
Really?
Yes. We got him a mullet. It's fantastic.
I see a 3-year-old Joe Dirt running through the house.
No, I want him with.
Where's the kaboom? There's supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom. Oh, I love Marvin the Martian. So you guys don't know, that is by far my favorite character. Actually,
with the ghost face, ghost face, scream face. I just watched Scream last night.
Do Marvin the Martian with scream face? She's shaking her head. No.
Binge watching movies.
She's like, no.
Hey, Frosty,
we'll do something like that for Halloween.
I have to run. I have to get my day going by 11:30 here.
Oh, bye, Eric.
No worries, bud.
I will be back next week. Same time, same place, same channel.
Oh, yeah. And thanks for the thumbnail, by the way.
I was just about to ask you about that, Paula. Did you like that?
I couldn't believe that. And Eric's picture doesn't look much like him either.
Look, that's a pretty fresh picture, actually.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm just relaxing, and I think I might be about 4 beers in there because I was
Oh,
actually on
maybe that's
vacation last year.
He's
maybe
he's
that's
he's
why.
happy.
Yeah.
He's happy.
So
Well,
Maybe
he
send
took
me
the
another
palm
one. I
trees
didn't
out of
have
the
a
back.
picture of you, and
that's
I
what
had to
it
do
was.
something.
It was. I was just gonna say maybe it's because there weren't any palm trees in the background.
So, anyways, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye,
Thanks, Eric. Well, take
Eric.
care, brother. And Paula, I didn't have a photo of you, so I had to use the only one I had.
Well, don't you have your? We're friends on Facebook. You can use my go-to, the one that
Uh,
that's like 40 years old.
yeah, I don't
It's
I
my
don't take
favorite
people's
picture of
photos without
me.
permission.
It's my favorite
That's just
picture of me. It's back when I was still at E3.
that this one
No, I
was
think I was
from
E4 back then. I think I was E4 back then. I
this
think I was
one
a
was from
senior airman.
Tulsa.
What?
Now I have that the unicorn was from Tulsa. Um,
Oh my God.
now I
That gave me
have a
little
picture of
kid
you and me
nightmares.
from Tulsa, but I'm not going to use it.
Oh.
We have discussed why, but
Well,
so
next time, make sure I have clothes on. Bifrost, like, what? No, she probably knows me by
she's just
now. She
giggling.
doesn't.
She's just
She's
giggling.
not paying any attention to me. She knows better.
Yeah. But no, we've talked about what was going on during that time frame, and
Hmm.
so I wouldn't use that photo.
Oh, my eyeballs.
Yeah, just not there. It wasn't flattering.
Oh,
So I
hopefully those will
figured
be
this would be
better.
funny. Number one, I think it would draw a little attention to the thumbnail, but because you got the little one on the side that's like, it's damaged. Um,
It's damage.
but anyway, yeah, I wanted to do this. So if I can get a good photo of you, I'll put us up there. That'll become the standard Sunday thumbnail.
It's very difficult to even get a photograph of me. My family complains about it all the time. I'm usually the one behind the camera taking the picture because I hate having my picture taken. I really do.
Yeah, I'm always the one taking the photos.
Yeah.
So you don't see tons of pictures of me. Now you see me, but you just don't see tons of photos of me from the very same reason. I need to get some photos done for the channel, so I need to just buckle down and go have those done. But um, yeah, because I use the same 2 or 3 photos all the time. I need to do this, but Indigenous says, Paula, you're a mess. I love it.
I am a mess.
I hope you're doing well with your recovery.
I
So
am a mess. I'm a
surgery went
beautiful
well.
mess.
She's
I am a
recovering
beautiful
well.
mess. God
So,
told me so. God told me I'm a beautiful mess. I'm a
but
work in progress.
oh, we all are. Yeah, yeah,
A
we
work
all
in
are.
progress.
So, but yeah. So anyway, I thought the thumbnail would be fun to put together that way. And again, I think it's going to become. This is going to be the standard. But do you like it overall? Are you good with that?
It's fine. Yes, it's fine.
Okay. I thought about, and I told Eric the other option that I had, if you want to go this route, is to get your favorite coin. So our favorite coin instead of us being there. Um, but the only problem with that is that people would think that that's what we were talking about. Um,
Yeah.
it would be harder. I think this is more of a personal thing. So I think this is going to be the new thumbnail moving forward. If you want me to change that one of you and actually get a good picture of you, then I'll be happy to do so. But I just thought it was funny to throw something in there.
It's fine.
So what do you guys think? You guys like this thumbnail? Are you guys good with this thumbnail being the Sunday morning chit chat moving forward? And if you're not, well, it might just stay there anyway, but oh, she's got Marvin up there.
Yep.
He's working it. So it always amazes me. I try to do stuff like that, and it's like it doesn't look very difficult, but man, drawing takes so much practice. That's like with anything, but like, good grief, she's good at doing that. All right, so who do I send this to, Paula?
I don't know. Have them pick a number or something.
Indigenous, am I in the right chat? No, go up to the pinned comment and click on that link, Indigenous, and you can come over to the other one. It'll take you over to. You're looking at it in vertical mode. A lot of people, well, people are in both, but more people are in the horizontal mode. I see both because I'm monitoring both channels because I stream both horizontal and vertical. Freaking Awesome says, excellent work by Frost.
Yeah,
Speaking of
she
freaking
did
awesome, we
great.
need to find a time this week. What does your Thursday look like? Maybe we can go do lunch on Thursday. We know the squirrel. We know the unicorn. Yes, I have a picture of the squirrel and the unicorn hugging
Yes.
Ida,
Yes.
and that's a fun one too. So, all right. Well, I'm going to throw this in here. We're going to do exclamation. Matter of fact, why don't you guys chat it up for just a minute? Let's make sure that everybody in here is chatting it up. Chatting it up. I will draw a couple names, and then we will give this away. So make sure you're chatting it up. I was dust for a couple years at the Walker Art Museum in Minneapolis. I used to love watching the artists come into copies. Yeah, oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. I know Vote for Pedro is all about supporting young artists. He's done some really cool things to offer.
Vote for Pedro supports he supports a lot of stuff. He's a supporter.
Philip the Board is too. Philip the Board is big on supporting young art. Robert Pintoff, what's going on? Lurking in the background. Hope you're doing well, Robert. Robert doesn't know this, but I do. So Robert had a generous donation where he was gifting memberships. I took some of that and got A&A memberships, and we'll be giving periodic A&A memberships away as well. So
Nice.
Thank you, Robert, for that donation. Talk to them about that, and that's something that you guys do on Livecoin, and I think
we do. I think
that's cool. I would like to.
ANA has sponsored gold memberships for us to give away once a month. So
yeah, it's pretty cool. So anyway, Robert, thank you for that. So make sure you guys are chatting. Ronald Stewart, thank you. Indigenous Treasures just became a Planchet member. So thank you for the membership, Indigenous. I so much appreciate you.
You want to switch it up once in a while, you can give away a Koneka membership.
Well, if you will help me coordinate that, I will definitely do that.
Sure.
I'm actually on the thumbnail. I thought about putting it on there, which is join the ANA and Koneka, because we have both of those. So I'll probably add that instead of it saying it's damage. I'll probably change that little cloud bubble to say join ANA and Koneka.
Join Koneka.
They're good. They're good organizations. So.
Yeah, and with Koneka you get a bi-monthly you get every other month. You get a copy of Error Scope, which is really cool. And when you first join, you get an error coin with your new membership. So I should be getting my Koneka shirt in the mail here pretty soon.
That's cool. So I'm going to pull a winner, and I'm going to go ahead and send this off to whomever that is. And the winner is the one, the only, dun, da, 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 freaking awesome. Holy smokes. Well, that makes it easy. Now you have to get together with me. So congratulations, freaking awesome. I appreciate you. So you're going to get this here, and I'll make sure that get this off. Actually, we'll just have lunch. We'll just go have
Freaking
lunch.
Awesome
We'll do
does
something.
not subscribe to this channel, it says.
Freaking Awesome is subscribed. He's just not publicly subscribed. So when you go into your setting, you look at this.
Yeah.
I don't force people to be publicly subscribed to the channel.
No,
I
I
did
think it's
earlier when I was first starting because I wanted people to show that they were subscribed to the channel. But a lot of people don't like to do that.
Mm-mm.
And so I quit trying to force people to do that. It's messed up. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
they shouldn't
definitely
have
get that
to.
together. So thank you, Freaking Awesome, for being a part of this and for all of that. Robert Pintoff, again, thank you so much for the donation. It was cool to be able to work with the ANA and tell them what was going on and have them set up some gold memberships from your donation. So I appreciate you doing that. That was very cool. I thought you would. I didn't think I need to ask you for permission to do that because I thought you would like that idea. Clearly, very nice. That's a fantastic idea. So thank you so much for that. Robert's a great supporter of the channel. So I want to thank you very much, Robert. But again, just you guys, thank you so much for coming in, for hanging out with me today. Again, Coin Cruise auction will be starting here in about 7 or 8 minutes. So feel free
Okay,
to go
have a
do that.
blessed day, everybody. Bye,
Yep.
Frostbite. Thanks
Paula, love you.
again.
Thank you so much for coming up.
Thank you
If
guys for all your prayers. I
if you want to send
appreciate
me a
it.
photo, I'll update that. Otherwise, I'm going to leave you as the unicorn.
Okay.
So I'll leave that totally to you. Okay. All right, my friend. Well, Bifrost has waved her goodbye. She is going back to her friends. She's going to go do her stuff. I'm going to go down, have breakfast with the wife, and hang out and get some yard work done. So I will see you guys a little bit later in the streams. So do me a favor, take care, be well, be blessed, and do me a favor. Remember that we are better as a community than we are as individuals. So even though we don't always get along, still talk. It's good to have differences of opinion. All right, all. Take care, and I will see you in the streams. Love ya.